Hello there guys, and welcome back to the channel. So, today we're gonna talk about the upgraded Sigil, because it definitely is quite divisive, and obviously I do have my own thoughts and opinions to weigh in as well, but needless to say that the update has not necessarily gone down extremely well with the community. And with that, we need to start just recognizing that I still believe the Sigil is objectively the best $10 that you can spend a month in the game if you are a moderately active player. Realistically speaking, you do get more than $10 worth of units if you ever spend money on the game. Then you get the Express Arena, and then you get the increased inventory space, slightly quicker, energy recharge, which is not that relevant anymore, but still. And you do get some additional perks and benefits, like the store and stuff like that. So, whilst it's not game-breaking in any meaningful sense, it is much easier to play the game with the Sigil active. Therefore, it was quite frustrating that much of what Sigil was used for initially just got completely outdated for many years. And now when we heard that there's going to be rework, obviously it was quite exciting. But that rework seems to be, again, kind of hiding a hidden agenda even. Because one of the few things that people didn't initially talk about is the removal of the boosts for gold and the removal of your trade-in potions, effectively. And those potions were actually super important, because whenever the game was kind of a bit slower, you could trade in your lower rarity potions for more valuable ones, and additionally, because it was a new stack of potions, you could just stack up more potions, right? And that didn't cost you any other resources other than potions themselves. Now, however, we see that the health potions do cost your very, very, very valuable credits, which is a very finite resource, the same resource that you would use to get a 7-star, for instance. And the same thing with the boosts and revives, to a point where it's kind of like either or proposition. You cannot be working towards a 7-star crystal or a Titan crystal or a Sigil Witch anymore. Whilst previously, all of that happened at the same time. You could be saving up for your Sigil Witch. You could be, trading in your shards for, periodically get a bump in your shard amounts. And most importantly, you were able to get your potions, returning in the older potions. So that is a significant shift in the way Sigil works, where previously maybe those things were outdated to a degree, some more than others, but you could benefit from them all. Like, you could be saving for your 7-star Scarlet Witch and getting the boosts and getting the potions. Now, it's one of the three, really. You can either have the 7-star Sigil Witch, but then you can't spend any on the potions or boosts, or you can select your potions, but that takes away from resources for the boosts and so on and so forth. So, and that has definitely sparked quite a few conversations. So I'd like to hear your thoughts as well. Boosts now cost tokens and revives as well, only worth saving up for 7-star crystals without sacrificing tokens for revives and boosts. This updated Sigil feels out of date. I like it when we can trade out lower shards for bigger shards. Now I have to farm 150k 6-star shards just to open a 7-star. How huge rosters opening 7-star is ideal for me as a high-end Valiant. I have none issues with ISO or gold. But overall, I only really got 6 stones and used my 150k 6-star shard to trade in. It just doesn't feel premium or updated at all. Yeah, you get to open one more 7-star. That's about it. And then there are people who are saying, under the old Sigil, you could purchase 20% boosts every week for gold. One of the best things for AW Koreans questing ATC. Now I get 60 Sigil credits a month, and those cost 10 Sigil credits each. You'd spend more than a month's worth of Sigil credits every month just buying the boost. This seems like a massive nerf and way overpriced. And then there are obviously quite a lot of discussions. Kind of surprisingly, I think Grounded Wisdom actually has had several quite decent takes recently, and this is okay too. Because if you're thinking in terms of relative to the usual purchases, more value than Star-Lord's loot bag, which I agree. And that's why I flat out say that, Sigil is still the best single $10 you can spend on a game a month. But Now, in terms of everything else, it's only $10 a month, and that's also kind of true. We can't expect to be gaining like Titan crystals and all of the other benefits like every month for $10. I'd say, like, you do have to have like realistic expectations. However, I think with this sigil gone, you don't have that many great sources where you can get these 20% champion boosts, right? It's a very finite, limited amount of them. It was kind of already naturally assumed that, you know, if you want the 30% boosts, you either have to buy the early access bundles or spend 1,000 units on the monthly event quest completion bundle, which is, you know, what I did just now as well. And again, it genuinely feels not even that much better deal than we used to get. Because again, these materials should, like, I mean, the one thing that does put it over the edge for me, realistically, is the Tier 4 Alpha and the 7-star Sig Stones. Those are, like, you know, hugely important and massive improvement, and yeah, it is better, therefore. I just don't necessarily entirely follow Kabam's thought process or plan or logic by taking away our gold boosts, our potions, and stuff like that. That is kind of the most frustrating bit. Not to mention the fact that if you do want to get a Titan Crystal, then effectively you need a year's worth of Sigil Crystals, which is, again, a bit ridiculous. I kind of get it, but in that case, you know, don't add the Titan Crystal in there, I suppose. Just add in some Titan Shards and, you know, split it down a bit or something. But I definitely have quite mixed opinions about the Sigil. There are things in it that I like. There are changes that absolutely dumbfound me. And this could have been one of those things that's objectively great and people, you know, most of the people are happy and it's a positive change. And as often with things, you know, Kabam just finds a way to kind of ruin it. And this quite literally feels like the bare minimum update for it to be, you know, remotely possible. Because if it was any worse, there would be like a massive, massive backlash, much bigger than it is right now. It's kind of like when Kabam says there's going to be like over 20,000 Titan shards available, you know it's going to be 20,010 Titan shards. When Kabam says there's going to be enough rank up materials for, like, you know, a new rank 4 7-star, there's going to be just about exactly, like, there's always going to be the bare minimum of whatever they kind of like promise or hype up. So they're technically right, and absolutely not a smither more. And this is exactly that. It is upgraded sigil, you know, getting the 7-star Sig Stones is nice. You technically get a tiny bit more units, I think. But it also takes away, and I just don't understand why it had to. You know, if you would actually speak with the players and ask which are the most important things or most used, I'm sure, and that's the thing, I'm sure they knew that everybody's buying this boost. I'm sure they knew that everybody likes trading those potions. I don't understand why they had to change it so people couldn't anymore. So there we are. And yeah, whilst again, I want to emphasize this, I still think this is objectively the best $10 you can spend on this game in a month if you do spend on this game at all. I also think this is just about the worst update that Kabam could have gotten away with for people not to kind of like openly laugh in their face. And even now, there's a lot of people quite unhappy with Kabam. It didn't have to be that way. It's like, why? Realistically, the Sigil Star, like, what you can do with that Sigil Star? When they even took the featured 6-star crystal away? Of course they did. Of course they did. They left the featured 5 stars. Why would they leave the featured? It's like, why? Really, why? It just, it genuinely feels like I'm gonna give you as little as possible type of situation. So, let me know what you guys think, and I'm gonna catch you guys soon. Bye-bye. Hello there, guys, and welcome back to the channel. So, we have all the information about the next